It's been brought to my attention that one of the writers is a 9/11 truther, and I haven't commented on that, and I'm not going to. Why? Because I don't care if you believe in something stupid. I care to see a movie that is more interested in plot, character, and suspense than in its lens flares. I can point and say, this is probably because of the writer's mistaken beliefs about 9/11, but it's hard when most of the time I'm saying, this is probably because of the writer's mistaken belief about character, plot, theme, logic, etc. It's like they've got two themes going on. To give one example, one is a conspiracy-filled anti-government paranoia piece, and the other is about revenge. And then it proceeds to then fumble them all over the place until their themes become self-contradicting. I suppose it's unsurprising. I mean, face it, Transformers 2 didn't make $800 million because people were so impressed with the script. Roberto Orci famously responded to people who pointed out problems like these with Into Darkness by publicly losing his shit. One small sample, quote, I think the article above is akin to a child acting out against his parents. Makes it tough for some to listen, but since I am a loving parent, I read these comments without anger or resentment, no matter how misguided. Having said that, 2 biggest Star Treks in a row with best reviews is hardly a description of broken. And frankly, your tone and attitude make it hard for me to listen to what might otherwise be decent notions to pursue in the future. As I love to say, there is a reason why I get to write the movies and you don't. I'm suddenly understanding why Kirk is written to be an arrogant prick who feels he doesn't need to earn anything and blames other people for his failings. Apparently for Orci, this was an autobiography. So yeah, I think if you're dealing with that, someone who calls those who don't love his film morons, and publicly told someone they were a, quote, shitty fan, we have to get fairly far down the list before nutty conspiracy theorist starts to become the most important character flaw in the making of the movie. As I've said over the course of this show several times, the difference between an homage and a ripoff is whether or not you add something of value to it. So I can't tell you how gratifying I found it when last month Nicholas Meyer actually commented on this very scene and said, quote, in my sort of artistic worldview, if you're going to do an homage, you have to add something. You have to put another layer on it. And they didn't. So, what is it that they did add? We are so better off with that, aren't we? Oh yeah, what are we supposed to do in this situation? We have both Orci and his critic Meyer both get to write movies. What do we do then? I suppose it's a wash. I mean, you're comparing someone who wrote a piece that actually convinced the sitting president to change his national policy against someone who once made a one-season show about a soccer player who's also a secret agent. That's basically the same thing. It's a shame, because however arrogant he was, Orci is right about one thing. There is a reason that he gets to write movies, and people like you and I don't. It's because he knows how to write movies that make a lot of money. And hey, Hollywood's an industry. If you're good at your job, hats off to you. But just because you're good at your job in Hollywood doesn't mean you're good at movie making. Into Darkness made a lot of money. It was loved in its day. Until the next great thing came along, and it was forgotten. Big budget movies like that are loved today. Great films are loved forever.